There are people that are smart and there are people that can manage their emotions. If I had to choose, I'm probably going to go managing your emotions.
Really?
Well, yeah.
That's awesome.
I got an emotional side to me. No, I mean, there's like a soft heart in there. For sure. Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome to the Not So Late Show with your hosts, Josh and Joanna. I'm Josh, she's the Joanna. Coming at you guys, week 8 quarantine. I think it's day 51. 51 days. Technical stay at home, shelter in place quarantine. How you doing this week?
I like how you said 51.
51.
50 cent.
Yep.
How are you all? We're so happy that, I'm sure somebody will jump on at some point. No, we're good.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and being a part of our Wednesday evenings. Tonight, mixing it up, a little something different here. This is a Brunello de Montalcino, little Italian.
Italian.
Yeah, it's Italian. From Villa e Caprese. I'm not real sure. You guys, everything's backwards on here. All you Italian people out there, tell me how you would say that. Saprese, Villa e Saprese, Brunello de Montalcino. So, fun little wine. This is actually, so we are part of Gary Vaynerchuk's Wine Club monthly wine subscription. And I think it's fantastic. It's $55, I think, a month, and you get typically 2 to 4 bottles. Always exceeds the value of the box. Mm-hmm. But this one was good. I'm not a big fan of normally of Italian wines, but what do you think of that?
It smells nice. I haven't tasted it.
Yeah, it does. It's got a lot of this like bright red fruit. So cherries, almost like these tart raspberries on it.
It's actually nice. Excuse me. That's nice.
Yeah, it's good. You get this like tobacco on it as well, which is nice.
Some Italian wines and some French wines are a little like nice. Cheers.
That's how the wine guys do it.
I don't know. Some Italian French wines are a little light for me and just have a really very distinct taste. I typically go for the big, bold, deep-bodied Cabernets from California.
Yeah. You're a classic, what they would call a New World wine, like preference. Like that's your preference. That California, that fruit-forward kind of profile. This is Old World. This is like, it's way more acidic, like the red wines.
Block the sun.
You're fine.
Okay.
A lot of people like acidity in white wine, but don't necessarily like it when it comes to red wine. This is Sangiovese base, which is the grape. For anybody who's had Chianti, that's Sangiovese. So it's acidic. It's like it's a food friendly wine. Like if you were drinking this with food, you probably would love it. Right. It's not necessarily the sit down and sip it for happy hour.
Yes,
kind of wine.
Yeah, but I'm sure this pairs really well with, tuna.
Oh, like a nice,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
A nice fillet of tuna or something.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good pairing.
Yeah.
Nice. So yeah, how was your week?
I had a good week.
Mm-hmm. Why'd you have a good week?
I don't know. I turned another year older. It doesn't matter, people, how old I turned. Doesn't matter.
We will not talk about such things on a live show. But yeah, it was 35. birthday weekend in full effect. Actually, your birthday was technically Sunday, May 3rd. But look, throwing birthdays in quarantine definitely poses some challenges.
Well, you had some reservations. So a couple weeks ago, my favorite restaurant in the entire world is a restaurant called, one of them, but one of my top is it's Martini Italian. It's a Cameron Mitchell restaurant, which is those are pretty famous in Columbus. Really allergy friendly, excellent service. Basically, we are huge Cameron Mitchell fans, and most of their restaurants here in Columbus know us. And I try to brag about them all the time on social. So anyways, yeah, I saw some reservation pop up, and I got super excited because I thought we were going to go on a date.
Well, yeah, the backstory is I think everybody was shooting for a May 1st open here in Columbus, and the governor had communicated that we were on track for that. But then last week came out and said certain businesses could open on the 4th, but restaurants are kind of in maybe a phase 3 opening. So reservations ended up not holding up, but it was good. We planned Friday night. We had some family of yours come over.
That was so nice.
For pizza.
We did.
Yeah, and cake. And it was...
So technically it's still our family, but we just extended our quarantine fam a tiny bit.
Yeah, there's less than a group of 10.
Yes, it was less than 10.
But your mom made the best cake of her entire life, I think.
I'm pretty sure it was probably between 13 and 1,600 calories per slice. So
it was intense.
Something happened when I ate it because I don't eat sugar hardly ever.
Yeah.
The only thing I sometimes have are like organic gummy bears. That's pretty much it. Or like a small piece of like dark chocolate. But I typically try not to have any sugar really consistently. I mean, I had a sugar rush, a sugar high from it immediately.
Yeah, it was like drugs.
It literally was
that sugar crack.
It was like sugar crack. It was crazy good.
Yeah. So
thank you, Mom, for that.
Yeah. So that was pretty amazing. And then Saturday we stayed around here and did some gardening, outside work, and then you and I went to North Star, which is a local restaurant here. Got some takeout. Went over to Easton. I mean, that's what North Star is. Took a couple glasses of wine, sat out on a bench, and had a little outside date night dinner.
No, we had the wine like covered in the, the like portable little mugs, which we've never done in our entire life together. It was super sweet. We just made the most of it.
Yeah. So good time. And then Sunday did a little family hike over at HighBanks Park, cooked the family dinner. I did some steaks, some homemade French fries. Oh, we did grilled artichokes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are so good. And Aaliyah's obsessed with those.
Yeah.
For sure.
So
they're really delicious.
It was fun. Hey, Vittorio, thanks, man. Good to see you. Good to hear from you. Hope you're hanging in there.
We need to go as soon as you open, Vittorio. We're going to come visit you. Let us know. But
and then random thought. I actually we were hiking Sunday and we were crossing the river. My kids like to go off the trail for some reason, for whatever reason. Probably because I always encourage that. But so we go off the trail, we're hiking across this river, and I actually slip and fall, which I'm always talking to kids to not do that, but I did it.
And it's a little funny.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, because I just looked up and I just saw your face smiling.
Yeah.
And I thought you were happy, like you saw something.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think.
No, I fell, and I was, and other people saw it too. But anyway, my phone goes into the creek, and it was in there for a solid 60 seconds. And I'm like, it's no problem. It's an iPhone XS Max. It's waterproof. It should be good. So I do the whole like in rice for 2 days and in front of a fan, just airing the thing out, and just didn't come back. So
you actually waited. Well, so
yeah. So AT&T hand delivered my new iPhone 11 Max today. So I'm literally back online like as of 30 minutes ago.
Right. And you've been without a phone for basically 3 days.
Yeah. Yeah.
During
some
quarantine.
Of that's really nice.
Yeah. I was wondering how was that for you?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know how that is for you to not be able to get a hold of me, but knowing that people can't get a hold of me was kind of like nice for sure. But at the same time, like we were dealing with some stuff today, and it was like, I can't call you. Like,
you were you were.
Can we Zoom? Can we FaceTime?
Time. Yeah.
So, Vittorio, we're drinking a Brunello tonight. It's actually super good. But anyway, making me think about you. So yeah, good to hear from you.
Josh got me. Is it called an Aura ring?
Aura.
So I've wanted this Aura ring. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this brand, but it's basically a sleep tracking, health tracking ring. And it's really amazing. So I just connected it with my phone last night, got the app, and then I wore it last night. And and it showed me how I slept and when I had like light sleep.
You got it set up.
Yeah. And so like when I had REM, light sleep, deep sleep. So I only had deep sleep for 48 minutes.
And light sleep for 5.5 hours.
I'm not sure that's good.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
have to see what that does.
Because I definitely wake up tired most mornings. So anyways, thank you for that.
Of course.
I'm excited to see. Oh, I like data. So now I have
from what I've
data.
heard, it's the most accurate advanced bio tracking kind of like consumer product out there. So like we'll see. If you like it, I'll probably pick one up too.
Okay.
Myself.
Wow. Oh, and last thing, and you spoiled me with so I love big, large water bottles. I mean, this guy is like, I don't know how many ounces. He's got to be 30.
I think it's 32.
Oh, 32. Okay. Yeah. I know a lot of you have these, but the Hydro Flask, I'm a huge fan. They're fantastic.
Yeah. Good brand. All right. What's up, Michael Nelson? He's online. Scott Mayshaw is here. Hey, Scott, your mother's online watching. Hi, Janice. Oh, we just missed the comment that
Mom, we were just talking about your cake.
Your cake made the show. We said it was probably the best cake of your life.
It was hands down.
And then Ola Julie is online. Hey, what's up? Good to see you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. Also, what was yesterday?
Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo. So,
do you all celebrate that? May 5th of every year? Well, anyways, I learned a few fun facts.
Okay.
The Mexican army had a victory. The whole reason that the Mexicans celebrate Cinco de Mayo is because they were champions over a French battle on May 5th, 1862. I think Napoleon III was in power.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Anyways, really interesting.
Yeah.
And
we commemorate that by celebrating with tacos and a little homemade margarita.
Can you show a photo
last
or no?
night?
Are we on?
No.
Oh.
If you want to bring it up on your phone and go like this, you totally can.
Okay. Well, they were so good.
Yeah, but we made some tacos, and here's the deal: we're gluten free, and so tacos work, but they got to be corn tacos, and not like the crispy. Oh, there you go. So hold it up. Yeah,
These
get it closer. Yeah, fish tacos, some cabbage, some avocado.
Delicioso.
But one of the things I have done during this time of being home is learned how to make homemade corn tortillas, and they're really not all that difficult. But one of the days I was here, I actually went over to the Mexican grocery store and got myself a tortilla press. So
isn't that cool?
This little dude, I think it may still. It's got some tortilla remnants on it from last night because it has not been cleaned yet. So, which is bad. But you get the mix, you make it a little lime juice, a little masa, a little salt, some water, make it up, press these things. I mean, I think they're better than flour tortillas.
Oh, completely. They're thick. They don't fall apart, which all gluten-free corn tortillas typically fall apart.
Yep.
And I mean, I've eaten enough tacos gluten-free and it's a mess.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That was fantastic. The kids loved it.
So that's what we did last night. Yeah, no, we're gonna skip that. How was your week, Joanna? What are some of the highlights from your week? Highs and lows.
I'm gonna get you with that.
Highs and lows. Highs and lows.
So mad about that.
What were some of your highs from last week?
Okay, so one, I had quite a few people comment on the whole bison situation and whether
from last week's episode.
From last week. Last week we talked about. We went out to Battelle Darby Creek State Park, Metro Park. Anyways, and there are bison there. We had this whole discussion with a few people that were like watching live, whether bison and buffalo were the same. Anyways, so I had to find out if bison can run and if they were dangerous and if they were fast. And because I thought it would be funny if you got chased by one. And I'm sorry, that's just where my head goes with animals. And so guess what?
What?
Bison can run about 35 miles per hour, which is as fast as a horse.
I don't understand this.
So no, they can. They're very agile, Josh.
Oh my gosh.
They
I'm
are
so
able-
sure. A big old bison.
Able to turn quickly.
So agile.
They can also jump fences, Josh.
Okay.
They can.
Okay.
Okay.
So why would you want a bison to chase me?
I just think that would be, when people are chased, I think it's the funniest thing when they fall, as long as they don't get hurt. And especially if people are getting chased by animals, that's what I watch people when I want to laugh.
So a bison's chasing me, I fall down, and you're laughing the entire time.
I would rescue you then.
Oh my gosh.
But anyways, it was really interesting to read about bison, and they run really fast, those big guys.
Oh man.
One fun thing we did last week, highlight of the week for sure, was we're basically trying to visit a new park that we haven't been to for a while.
Like state parks.
Yes, new state park. And Ohio has so many fantastic state parks. I would recommend all of you to get out there and explore what your state has. And I'm sure you all are. I know we all are right now. But anyways, we went to HighBanks Metro Park in Worthington. And it's known for its massive, like 100-foot high shale bluff is what they call it, towering over the Olentangy State River. And it's so cool. So basically there are a number of ravines all over. So you can basically go hiking. You're in the woods and you're up really high and then go down into the ravines. And there's all of this shale and slate, which we were talking about the difference between that.
Yeah.
However, there are also like creatures.
Yeah.
So we saw a few, but definitely one category was snakes. Do you guys like snakes? Do you like snakes?
I mean, they're fine. We saw a lot of them.
We did. Yeah. So we saw a lot of, a specific snake called the black rat snake. And we had this guy like come over and say, hey, do you want to see some snakes? So it just became really comical as we went on this hike. Everyone kept stopping us, trying to get us to see all of these snakes. So I have a few fun facts on the black rat snake that I found.
Yeah. How do we know that they're a black rat snake?
Well, Caden sent my dad a picture.
Yeah.
My dad, who is an awesome guy and also like a minister and a preacher, is a wildlife manager. Who would have thought? So anything with like trees or...
That sounds like Tiger King.
Anything with animals, we always send
Good
photos.
guy.
My kids always send photos to my dad. And
Yeah.
then he verifies or clarifies whatever it is that we're asking or wondering. So it's super fun. He's always so fast to respond to. So anyways, but he said that they're harmless. Here's what I found out about the black rat snake.
Yeah.
They can reach...
Well, Google disagreed with your dad.
Sorry, Dad. Google did not agree with your assessment or overview of the black rat snake. They can reach up to lengths of 8 feet.
These were big. I mean, some of them were 6 foot long,
Yes.
for sure. Yeah.
Yes. They were crawling across the paths. They were popping their heads out of trees.
Yeah, that was a little weird.
Yeah, I didn't like it at all. And then I'm like, whoa, can't snakes just like dart at you like that if they just see you walking by?
Yeah.
And they were kind of like
That would
everywhere.
make me laugh. Like a bison chases me, but if a snake just like launches itself out of a tree at you, I mean, it's done. It's all over. I'm like,
Oh my gosh, it strikes me. That
it
sounds
strikes you.
way more violent than a bison chasing you.
I don't think so.
Gosh, it's dark. This is turning really
Oh,
dark. Okay. Well, anyways, I'm trying to think of anything else that was interesting. They won't strike you unless they feel threatened.
Right.
They're also not poisonous. And it's also interesting. They're the most common snake found in Ohio. But they're also the most frequently killed because I read that humans are basically almost all of them are scared of snakes. So they just kill all these black rat snakes.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
have a photo.
Nope. Black rat snakes, heads popping out of trees. That's what's up. Guys, I don't know what you've been listening to, watching through quarantine. Would love to hear your thoughts. One of the things that last week stuck out to me, or one of the new Drake's new album dropped last week called Dark Lane Demos. That was definitely one of the highlights of my week. Typically, I'm a fan of anything Drake releases, but this was, I mean, it's like I knew we were going into quarantine, and just kind of knowing a little bit of him and his personality, I was like, he's going to drop an album. Like 8 weeks, give him 8 weeks, he'll drop an album. So he did, but a lot of it has been released kind of up, like just sneak release or sneak previews on SoundCloud or leaked. But
which is so crazy that he went away for quarantine and was just ready, like, hit the reset button and just like went to work. Yeah.
And some of it's just like, it just speaks to the recording industry now. Like you don't have to travel to LA or something and lock yourself in a studio for 6 months and produce a piece of work. Everybody's doing it in their homes. Reportedly, he had about 12 different producers working on the tracks, and then he would write the lyrics over top of it. But yeah, for the most part, about an 8-week process, which is crazy, and then dropped it. Sure. And look, for Drake, here's what people don't understand about Drake. Drake's got he's got the radio hits that he puts out there on purpose. So we saw like Tootsie Slide drop. And
what do you think of that song?
It's fine. This stuff's never my favorite of his. Like I remember like Hotline Bling and some of that stuff. People are like, if that's your vision or version of Drake, then you're like, don't like it. I'm like, I get it. He actually, they said he produced Tootsie Slide. It was a business decision in response to TikTok. Like, let's give TikTok something to do. Nice. Right? So I think that's super smart. Totally. At the same time, what this album is kind of like that dark emo side of Drake. I've always called him an emo rapper, which I think people think is funny, but that's why I kind of identified with him is like this more emotionally complex rap artist.
Yeah, I think I've always considered him like an intellectual rapper, something along those lines.
Yeah. So
he's very witty, isn't he?
Oh yeah, right? Yeah, and he's very good with words. And so he drops this album. It's darker. It's more introverted. Which you would expect from this time. So I think it fits the kind of season. He said, I've been in a very reflective. This was his quote. I've been in a very reflective state. So I'm going to give you all I have. All the other songs are fun, but this is what I love to do the most. So that's what. So Drake's like, look, all the other songs are fun, like the club songs that I produce for the club, and the beat and the friends, like that's all fun. But this is like what I love to do most. So yeah, I've been listening to it all week. I love it. So
I do as well. I've been listening to it. It's really good.
Yeah,
it's really good.
Yeah,
for sure.
Anybody else out there, if you've listened to the new Drake album, drop your favorite track into the comments. I'd love to know what your favorite track is.
Do you have a favorite?
Yeah, there's one. I think it's called Time Flies. That's really good that I like. It's just got a good hook to it. Also, Losses is about his relationship with his father because it kind of went through some ups and downs here in the last year, but it's a really just good track.
That's cool.
So yeah,
we would get in trouble if we played that, so we can't play it, right?
We would. YouTube would ban it.
That's why there's no 90s rap appearance in the beginning of the show, people. We're sorry.
What about you? What's something you've been watching or listening to?
Well,
we got Linda Sherman on the show. What's up, Linda? Brittany Adamayak. Hey, Brittany, how you doing? Bill Trout's here. Hey, Bill. And Ethan Sewell. Man, I still was like I was telling Janet, I need to make your tacos. I got your recipe.
Oh, and his bread.
Yeah. Oh, you got the bread recipe. Yeah, I got the tacos. Probably next week, man. I'm gonna do I'm gonna take a shot at those.
He actually talked about it, Ethan, last night. He mentioned when he was making tacos.
Yeah.
I got to make Ethan Sewell's.
Yeah, Ethan, you just missed it. We were talking about making homemade corn tortillas. I hit that up last night, so that happens.
Yeah.
Jared Pell is online. Hey, Jared, what's up? Our team's going to head out that way, I think, soon. We'll see. Anyway, go ahead. He knows what that means.
Okay.
It's code.
Yeah, I don't know. I did something. I watched and participated in a really cool webinar about a week ago with Donald Miller, who is author, speaker, creator of the brand called Story Brand. And he's a smart guy. He's really genius. He's putting out all kinds of incredible material right now in webinars. And so I participated in one that was called Donald Miller Teaches Writing, as simple as that. And anyways, it was, part of a day, and with writing for, the company, and then also writing personally. Oh, maybe he has to go to the bathroom or something. That's it. 24 years in, he just took off on a live. Oh, this is amazing. Well, I mean, I still have my ring on. I'm pretty sure everything's okay. Oh, he's back.
Yeah,
he changed his mind. We just had a little commentary, and you have no idea what
I have
just
no
happened.
idea. Nope.
Okay, back on track. Focus, Joanna. All right. So anyways, I participated in this Watch the Webinar, and it was fantastic. And I really just felt like I got a huge piece of clarity on if you are going to write an Instagram post or a book or a screenplay or anything, an essay, it doesn't matter, an article, you have to first come up with your controlling idea.
Okay.
And you are not allowed to say anything else if it doesn't support your controlling idea. And he talks about how so many, and this is definitely a tendency of mine, is I come up with 3 controlling ideas for one piece of work. And I try to say too many things in one, piece of art or whatever it is, article. So the controlling idea is the theme, the moral of the story, the point you're trying to prove, obviously. And then all of your other ideas need to point to the controlling idea. So I'll just share a little side note with everybody.
Yeah.
For the past, it's probably about 3 years ago, I started to kind of just have this dream to create or write a book. And I know that people, all the time you hear people say, I want to write a book, I want to write a book. And so I don't want it to sound like cliche or, silly, but a few years ago, something kind of happened inside of me. And I was actually watching, I went with some friends and we watched in theaters a Rachel Hollis, kind of documentary of behind the scenes of how she produces her life, her show, everything.
Yeah. So
I walked away from that knowing that was a dream of mine, a desire of mine that I wanted to definitely move on and act on. My issue, though, was deciding on the controlling idea. So this webinar just really gave me the clarity that I needed. And within, I would say, an hour and a half, I think, of watching and listening to him, I got it. And I started just writing all over my dry erase board. And I came up with my controlling idea for the book and all of my supporting ideas. Yeah. And of course, so I guess I'm announcing that I've begun working towards writing my book.
Whoa. Big deal.
It is a big deal.
Yeah.
So it was a really great win for me that day. And I'm just trying, I'm figuring out when I'm going to be working on it. I need to get up way earlier to fit in time for it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was exciting.
That's cool. When on your birthday on Sunday, you actually pulled me in your office and outlined all the chapters for it too. So I did. Yeah, it's awesome. Super proud of you.
Fun to show you that. And I think you said that you felt inspired.
It was inspiring.
It's all I need.
Looking at the chapter titles, I was like, this is a book I would read. Awesome. So yeah. Yeah. Bill Trout says at least he had pants on.
Oh my gosh, Bill.
Dude, we are way too far in the quarantine to be making those mistakes. We're pros. One thing I've been reading, we've been talking a lot about what we've been watching. But one thing I've been reading is this guy, Lifespan, Why We Age and Why We Don't Have to.
Every time I see you read that, I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to put my little patches on my face or do a facial. Just kidding.
Mark Costas gave this to me as a book. And he's definitely interested in that whole biohacking crowd, which is some of what this is. But it's just been interesting. His whole premise is aging is a disease, not a fact of life, which is an interesting take. And so, he sees a lot of these different factors affecting our mortality rate. And as we can begin to fix those with technology and even smarter life decisions, we can easily start adding decades to our life. So for instance, I've always felt this way. I think we'll look back at this time, and one of the things as we look back from 50 years from now or 100 years from now, I think we'll really define part of this age as like the age of cancer. Like there was this huge chunk of time where we could not figure out cancer.
Yeah.
And it literally like this is the heart disease of, 50 years ago, 100 years ago. This is the infant mortality rate of 100 years ago. Like it's one of those things where we look at it, and as soon as we solve it, we're going to see lifespan shoot up probably by 10 years average on everybody. And we'll look back and go, do you remember when people used to only live till 70? And a lot of it was because of cancer. And so, his deal is like it wasn't too long ago when the average lifespan was 50, or 55.
Right.
And we started solving things, and people are eating better. And so,
well, even sometimes we've had members of, let's say, like even your family or other boomer generation people in our extended family talk about how they're going to like, oh, well, my dad or my granddad, they all died at 70. So I've got 3 years. And we're like, what do you mean? Why are you saying that? That's terrible. Work on your health, improve it. Like it's such a mindset.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. That was some of the premise of the book. Super interesting. Gets into the weeds a little bit, which I kind of tend to like, but,
is he a scientist?
Yeah.
Doctor?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Both.
But yeah, all the things, all of that. No, but he gets into like, look, if we solved cancer, you could easily add 10 years on people's life. Just food and fitness. Like if you think about the whole organic food movement, and just everything taking place right now, I think food is literally going to add maybe not 10, but 5, 7 years on the lifespan, with just people being conscious of that, preventing DNA damage, fitness, like start throwing all these things in. And that 120 years has always been considered human potential, but has rarely been achieved. And so I think we'll start to see that. Lots of scientists think right now, kids born right now, and even our kids' age, have a huge chance of reaching 120, which would be interesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a long life.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
That'd be cool. I mean, and I'm 40, so that's like a third of it.
How long do you think we'll live?
I don't know. It'd be interesting.
Try some of his hacks and add 10 years.
Get Elon Musk to turn you into a cyborg. You'll live forever. So anyway, that's cool. What I've been reading. That's the most recent book. So
that's awesome.
Anyway,
wow.
Obviously we're in the middle of a health pandemic, codename COVID-19. What's the latest current situation on that, Joanna?
We are still smiling. I think that in lives, I've figured out, if you smile, everything just feels better. Well, I mean, current situation, Governor DeWine, Ohio's governor, has released dental offices to return to work, which is awesome for all of our dental peeps and dental fam. I think that there's definitely some confusing information being released, I would say, on a weekly basis. Ohio's governor first came out and said that it was mandatory for small businesses and, some of the businesses he was releasing to go to work, which does not involve retail or restaurants right now.
Right.
So, you need to wear masks, take temperatures 6 feet apart, which is highly limiting for depending on what kind of space you're in and how much space you have to work with. And then there was within, I think 24 to 48 hours, some type of, and I don't know how do you say that? Amendment?
Yeah, sure.
Amendment
change.
There was definitely a change to that policy, and it's a recommendation now. So I think we kind of had to navigate, are we going to, bring everybody back into the office wearing masks and taking temperatures and trying to be 6 feet apart in the space we have to work with?
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm trying to get back as soon as possible. Honestly, I think I told the team this last Monday, I was like, hey, we're expecting it to get lifted May 1st. So May 4th, we're back in the office. Cause that's just how I am. I'm like, let's move forward, get past this, reopen. But then it was like, can we really do that safely? Do we know how this is going to play out? And I'm like, all right, fine. Let's pause and think about this. So yeah, he first initially released everybody had to be in masks. we employers had to take temperatures of team members coming in, and we were just like, man, do we want to do that?
Yeah.
Because we can work remotely. We don't have to work together is the thing. So, and then like getting hand sanitizer, getting masks, getting these things. I mean, it's like, it's difficult.
It is difficult
right now. So
and very expensive. It's crazy.
I mean, you were looking at a gallon of hand sanitizer
for $180.
$180. I'm like, I can make hand sanitizer for $2.
We just need a distillery, right?
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know. I'll get it going out in the garage.
We actually think we found a local distillery in Columbus where we can go by and get some.
Yeah, so
they're just shut down pretty much.
Right. So we're hitting up some of our local distilleries here, and they have it. So there's some of that, and so I think we're just gonna take a couple weeks and see how it goes. But yeah, then the governor kind of came back and said, because I think all businesses were like, well, are you gonna supply the masks? Because we can't find the masks, and it was like, okay, so it's just a little vague. It's up in the air, but dental practices are opening. The vibe so far, I had a consult with one today that's opening next Monday. A bunch have had soft openings this week. And right now, man, the vibe is really good.
They feel positive.
Yeah, like nobody's really canceling. Like every now and then they have somebody that's like, hey, I would just feel safer. And sometimes even like healthcare workers are like, I probably shouldn't come in just in case. Like, let me postpone this.
You know what's so funny is what if they don't have hardly any cancellations because everyone actually wants to get out of their house and go see their dentist?
I know.
Like going to the dentist is now a treat.
Yeah. It's like, it's the new spa appointment.
It's luxurious.
Right? Because you can't go get your hair cut, but you can go to the dentist.
Which, my goodness, some of our dental friends are working so hard to create these like luxurious experiences when you go into their practice.
Well, yeah.
But wow.
And so many of them have just been working nonstop to create safe environments for patients to go back
and
to.
They go above and beyond with PPE.
Yeah. I mean, when I was on the phone with today, he said easily they have a 25% increase in overhead on each patient because of what they've had to implement and install.
Crazy.
He's even hired a cleaning team that will be in the building full time. So as soon as the hygienist is done with the patient, cleaning comes in, cleans the operatory, hygienist goes and does notes, and transitions to the next patient. And so I mean, it's serious stuff. Lots of practices are adding on like I don't know what you call it, it's like an infectious disease control like fee, like $10, $20, 25 a patient per visit to offset everything they've had to do.
Really smart.
Yeah, I mean, it's just because they're losing time and now they're having more expenses, and so there's just a lot of that playing into it. But it's interesting. But the first initial kind of feedback here is positive, which is good.
Yeah,
so,
and I know that a lot of dentists are also looking at air quality control.
Yeah, and
sticking in different devices and filters and everything into their practice. So I thought about getting one for 88s too.
Yeah, I mean, we have a filter in there. So much of dentistry, it's what they call, it's controlling aerosols is what they call it. It's airborne, like saliva and, that type of stuff where it gets in the air, especially if you're cleaning and you're using, what do they call it, man, with the air, like the air cleaners, the water-based cleaners, not the Explorer. Yeah. So that the Explorer versus the water. But that can create particles that go into the air. So that's a lot of what they're talking about is controlling aerosols in the air. And that gets way more difficult. There's been no requirements on that. And it is a way bigger investment for sure.
Right.
So anyway.
Well, I mean, on a positive note, you have something really cool coming up next week.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to mention that before we
shameless plug right here. The Comeback Conference is a virtual conference we're putting on next week with our good friends over at Driven Dental Marketing, Elijah Desmond and
so many good
Charles
speakers.
And those guys. Ultrasonic. Thank you, Shaquila. Oh my gosh, that word was.
Thanks, Shaquila.
Yeah,
he was struggling, and then I felt terrible that I couldn't help him.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's what it is. Ultrasonic cleaning versus traditional Explorer cleaning. Yeah. So creates more aerosols. Correct me if I'm wrong, Shaquila, but I think that's what I was trying to say. So anyway, Comeback Conference next week, Thursday, Friday, May 14th and 15th. We got 13 of the top national dental marketing companies to come together to do a joint conference to give everybody our best tips, tactics, thoughts, advice on reopening, just trying to give dentistry the best possible shot at a comeback.
Yeah.
So
yeah, completely.
Which is no small thing, getting 13 companies.
But dentists want to, and all our doc friends, they want to come back strong. Come on.
Yeah.
We're talking about some really awesome players out there.
Yeah.
They don't want to come back halfway.
Right. So it was
It'll be good.
It's
But you can even attend, even if you're not a dentist. Anyone can. It's next Thursday and Friday.
Yeah.
It's free. And even if you're in a different industry, trust me, you are going to learn so much from the men and women that are speaking at this event on marketing in general for your business. So I would recommend. Where can they go? thecomebackconference.com.
You got it. thecomebackconference.com. So.
Okay. Well, just really quickly before we move on to something that's really, really valuable.
Yeah.
But have you guys heard about all this stuff going on in the meat industry with COVID? Okay, come on. If you've ever considered going vegan, vegetarian, now might be the time. I mean, all of us we're watching the news pretty regularly, right? We've kind of shut it down recently.
Yeah.
It's been a nice break.
Yeah.
However, I thought it was worth mentioning. This is slightly freaky, but there are, and this stat was from a week ago, but anyways, more than 1,800 workers at meat industry giants, including Tyson, Smithfield Foods, and JBS, have been sickened with COVID. Not good. So I just saw a photo of the meat plants now are putting up these, like plexiglass plastic dividers between the meat workers.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know, how is that going to save the meat from having COVID in it? Maybe any of our doc friends that are on can weigh in. Does it
transmit through raw meat though?
You guys tell me.
I don't think it does. Would you
like to eat meat that had COVID, the virus in it?
On it.
In it? I mean, they're packing it all in.
Right, so it'd get on it.
In it. Both.
I don't know.
I'm concerned about this. Listen, this whole thing, I think, really started because a worker filed a lawsuit against Smithfield, alleging that workers did not have time to wash their hands or wipe their noses. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, man.
After sneezing. Oh, my gosh, you can't even do that. Stop.
You don't like that?
No. Oh, my gosh. Do you know who's the loudest sneezer in the world? Do you guys even know? Not this guy. Oh, my gosh. You've never, ever. Comment if you have a loud sneezer. I can't see my hand in your home. Tell me, please, right now, make me feel better. It's gotten to the point where I run away when you sneeze.
Yeah.
I try to clear the room.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's so
right.
Anyways, I can't show you the video, but anyways, we've been pivoting in our, and I would say we've really been exploring vegetarian, vegan over the past really year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah.
And we made
way more like that.
Josh made the most they were handmade and homemade spring rolls, and they were so good.
Yeah.
They were fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, we probably eat that way 60% of the time for sure, but even more so now. Don't eat that meat with that COVID on it.
Yeah, there's no contaminated meat in spring rolls.
Yeah,
in veggie spring rolls.
What's up, Aaron? Good to see you.
Hi, Aaron.
All right, guys. Last before we head out tonight, a topic we wanted to kind of address just to bring some value around this topic of raising emotionally mature children during this time, and send them to Dallas. Yeah. And I don't know how many of you guys have I think everybody's been struggling with this, right? Just parenting, just all the children, like
all the time. They never
all the
leave.
Children all the time.
They're just around 24/7.
Yeah.
I mean, you try to get them to bed early. Nope. they're just up.
Yeah.
And they don't want to go anywhere. They want to be like right by you.
Yeah. And what sparked this conversation was the other night, it was actually Monday night, and we had this conversation at the dinner table. We probably eat dinner together every night.
We do.
I mean, unless you and I are out somewhere, we always.
Which we've left once.
Yeah.
So.
Shh, don't tell him that. Yeah.
Well, King's the babysitter. He's 14.
Yeah, that's true. So, but Monday night we had this conversation around loss and grief and, and like loss of friends, loss of school, loss of experiences, loss of like feeling happy, like all that type of stuff.
I think there's a little bit of a trend happening that is being talked about and brought up, which is really, really fantastic. But well, the trend is not fantastic, but it's good that people are communicating about it. And that's just to kind of sweep your loss under the rug. Everything will be fine. Just
right.
Pray harder, choose happy, do whatever you have to do. And every single person in this quarantine pandemic is experiencing a different type of loss.
Yeah.
And so are children.
Yeah.
And whether you are a senior graduating and you're missing out on your all the graduation parties, the graduation ceremony, prom, or you're just a high schooler and you're missing like our kid. I mean, he's missing the fact that he's playing no sports, and he's missing like the end of the year, 8th grade, like clap out. And Aaliyah's missing all of our friends. Like we have very social kids.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think I brought it up and I wanted each of them to have like an opportunity to, to share, to talk about like, how are you feeling?
Yeah. Yeah. I think it actually came up because of me. Yeah. Cause some of this, I'm like, there's a loss of how we used to do business, and it's been weird. And there's part of it where I'm like, I don't know that I like this. If you told me this is how I have to run a business for the next 5 years, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like that's just kind of where I'm at.
Right.
So there's some loss that I was going through as well with it. And so I think, marriage psychologist extraordinaire, John Gottman, actually, as I was kind of looking into this, says that emotional awareness and the ability to manage feelings will determine how successful children are throughout life, even more than their IQ. Mm-hmm. And I 100% agree with that. There are people that are smart and there are people that can manage their emotions. And I think you want both, but if I had to choose, I'm probably going to go managing your emotions.
Yeah.
And so I was
really,
well, yeah,
that's awesome.
I got an emotional side to me. No, I mean, there's like a soft heart in there for sure.
You do.
I have a soft heart.
You have a really soft heart.
Anyway,
you have a good heart.
And so he goes on in one of his studies to identify 4 types of parents when it comes to emotional intelligence, emotional like maturity in your kids. There's the dismissive parent, like they disregard, ignore, or trivialize emotions. Like don't be stupid, don't be silly, just very dismissive.
Right. Which adults do to one another all the time.
Oh, 100%.
It's constantly like, you're fine. Everything's fine. No, it's not fine. Yes.
Right.
That one drives me bananas.
Yeah. Then there's disapproving parents, critical or negative, or even punish kids for having emotions.
Right.
You don't feel that way.
Right.
That's not right.
Right.
And maybe it's just even their tone of like, you're too young to even know what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's laws.
They minimize it.
Yeah. Laissez-faire parents, just hands off, like, but who cares, whatever.
They don't give them guidance or even direction, or limit, let's say, set limits on their behavior.
Yeah.
If their behavior is like really hurting other people, even the laissez-faire, whether it's good or bad behavior, they just like go hands up in the air, like kind of like raise yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. And the last, he calls them actually ultra parents, which I don't know, but these parents use what he calls emotional coaching, and getting kids to recognize their feelings, accept their feelings, and then constructively kind of work through them and guide them through. So
we would like to be the ultra
parents right here. Pinky.
It kind of sounds
Pinky promise.
like
The ultra
some type
parents.
of protein shake, but
Yeah, we are ultra parents.
no. I was just on this point. I mean, do you think that we as parents typically represent the style of parents that we experienced as children?
Do we represent?
So do you think that you parent the way you were brought up? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Do you parent the way you were brought up?
Are my parents on this
I don't
live right now?
Yeah. No, I'm not trying to get anyone in trouble.
No.
I'm wondering what, obviously our upbringings play a role
Yeah.
in shaping how we parent.
Yeah.
I think that's a very intriguing conversation. I
Yeah.
do believe that we can evolve past any kind of negative style of parenting we experienced. But I also wonder, what role does that play
Yeah.
in your current parenting?
No, that's a good thought. I don't know. I don't think so. I think I probably, I don't know. My mom was better at it for sure. Talking me through some stuff. There's definitely been some points where that happened, but yeah, I don't know. I think some of it, I think I don't know.
Oops. You can speak generally.
Yeah. No, I think sometimes you make decisions in life because of either what you were brought through or because you want to create a different experience.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think there's been some of that too. And even our own emotional maturity. I'm like, yeah, I want to do that different.
Right.
For sure.
I think that also sometimes we can look at our parents and go I don't know, we're quick to blame, right? And we all know, if you're a parent, how hard it is to raise emotionally healthy children and take care of all their needs, because they kind of seem endless sometimes.
Yeah.
And I think that, you take the good with the bad. I mean, honestly, when you leave childhood, you grow up and you have your own parents. And I think you can look at different things that have happened and just kind of learn from them, grow, do better with your kids. It's almost like with every generation of parenting that happens in your family, there's the potential to become better and to grow.
Yeah.
I think it's all about your perspective.
Yeah. And I think this time is just like what I'm hearing, even my friends, as I talk to them, it's just challenging at home right now.
It is.
For sure, raising kids. And so I think this is a large part of it. So as I was kind of thinking through this, I think I came up with 4 different things here that we've tried to do. And guys, some of these, I think we do good. Some of these I don't think we do as well. And some of them we're okay with. But number 1, it's okay to have emotion. Here's what emotions look like. Here's how to recognize them. And that's okay. It's okay that you feel this way.
Yeah.
Almost like going, that right there, that's frustration, that's anger, that's grief, that's loss.
Yeah.
It's okay. Recognize that. And then let's talk about it.
Yeah.
So, but I think that's what's hard is if parents don't know how to do that, then it's hard to recognize that. I got to sneeze.
Oh,
maybe.
Stop it.
No. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
Sorry. Back in. Negative emotions.
Wash your hands.
Emotional maturity.
Did you just witness this?
Oh,
so
man.
You thought that was loud? No, it's like 1,000 times
it wasn't that
louder.
loud. Typically I always have 2. So we're probably going to get another one here.
Is it from the sun?
No.
Don't make yourself. It's not.
I can't
Stop
make
it.
myself sneeze. It's
Unbelievable.
always in 2s.
24.
I'm
years
giving
of
everybody
this.
a heads up that another one's coming.
Everyone's dropping off the line.
But hiding. So it's okay to have emotions, but look, hiding emotions or being super parents isn't always helpful.
What is your definition of super parents? What does that mean?
I think super parents is something that's fabricated. It's a facade. There's no such thing as super parents.
Right.
To be honest. I mean, so if you're trying to maintain some type of facade or of being a super parent, I think it's going to break down.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of times I see that as going no, there's no emotions because we're super parents and we're beyond all that. And I'm like, no, stop. This is a challenging time for everybody.
Yeah.
There's not a person out there you can't convince me in some way or another is being challenged like very strongly through this time and having difficulty.
What's so awesome is I think that it is more acceptable to now talk about these things in our culture.
Right. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
It's like, I think this is actually a great opportunity, you know? So, which number 2 was in raising emotionally mature children and dealing with them was negative emotions are an opportunity to connect. So like, it's okay to feel that way. So it's not okay to take the emotions out on people and the rest of the family
and be like emotionally abusive or harmful or physically.
Yeah. Or just even lashing
like
out.
or
like,
something.
It's not okay to do that.
Right.
It is okay to feel that way. But like, so that's the differentiation. You can feel that way. Let's not take it out on the rest of the family.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So
yeah, definitely.
I think that creates an opportunity for them to grow and to learn and go, okay, I feel this way, but like, let's set up a filter. Right. I know that doesn't always is like the best word
that is not my favorite word.
The best response, but it's almost like, okay, I feel this way, but I don't want to hurt people. So let me filter this through something that's helpful.
I think sometimes it could be even just taking a break, taking a few minutes. It doesn't necessarily have to be a filter. It can just be go take a few minutes and just process through what you're feeling, take some deep breaths, and let's come back and have a conversation. And I think going your separate ways, especially when you're raising teenagers, which can be really challenging, and then coming back together when everyone is a little more centered and calm and ready to have a conversation can be way more productive.
Yeah. Well, I think it's like it's an opportunity to connect, and it's not always about arguing over the facts or trying to solve the problem. It's because emotions can be irrational for sure. So this isn't solving something or proving somebody's right. This is like connecting. Right. So even as a parent, this is the one time, like, you don't have to solve it. Like, you don't have to have the right answer. This is your opportunity to connect. So take the pressure off. Right.
Well, and I think sometimes our kids are so relieved when we just tell them, you seem, if we say kind of like a leading question, do you feel upset or do you feel sad or down? They don't really our kids don't love the really big, strong adjectives. But I think when we can get creative and find some of those adjectives to help them that they identify with, like words they use or words that are okay, that are acceptable, they're more willing to open up.
Yeah. So that's number 2. Number 3, raising emotionally mature children was that emotions are safe. They're safe. Like, you're not going to be punished for how you feel. I personally think a lot of parenting comes down to safety and love. Like, if your kids know you love them and you create a safe environment, like that's a huge part of parenting. And so this is an opportunity to create trust around a safe place, that emotions are acceptable. Bad behavior is not, but the emotions are acceptable. So teach them how to process that. But you can address the behavior separately than the person. Meaning, like, if you address the behavior, it's like, hey, don't talk to me that way, or don't talk to your sister that way. But you're not addressing the person of, oh my God, you're a nightmare. Oh my God, you're ridiculous to deal with.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, so address the behavior, because that's the part that's not cool. But give the person a pass to be safe in the process of the emotion.
Yeah. And also I think it's helpful to get them away from everyone else in the family. And just have a one-on-one conversation with them where they can just, take a few minutes, again, like I say, and just calm down and really process, why are you feeling this way? Or do you need 15 minutes? To chill out in your room and then come back and rejoin the family when you feel a little better. Maybe tomorrow, could we have a conversation and talk about this? Not putting like a really fast time boundary on it, but even giving them permission to go, can we talk about this tomorrow? Because you don't seem like yourself. No,
that's huge. And you've always been a great advocate of that, not embarrassing family members in front of each other.
I try to just constantly take them out. I mean, not that that's foolproof. Sometimes I'm quick. I don't allow negative talk happening between, the kids or Kaden speaking down to her or whatever. We nip that in the butt pretty quickly.
And then last, it was use your words. And this is something we've always said to our kids is, look, trying to communicate what's going on inside of you is hard. I think even Monday night, you and I were talking and you were asking me questions and I'm like, I don't know. There's just parts of this that are challenging.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I'm like articulating it well. Like, so it's not something I think you ever really get super good at. Maybe some people do. But that's always been a challenge to me. But it's a skill that you have to learn and kind of struggle with and wrestle with through life.
Definitely. And I mentioned this earlier, but I think this works for your partner, but definitely your kids. Broaden your vocabulary when you're speaking with your children, and try and find words and maybe phrases that they can identify with that sound like something they would say or something they've said to you before. And that's a really great starting point in having that hard conversation with them where they feel probably like alone.
Yeah.
You don't want them to feel, and I think using phrases like reminding them you're not alone. We are here with you. Because sometimes, we all hear negative self-talk and stuff going on in our heads, and you have to just stop all that right away and just tell them you are loved, you are safe in this family. We don't like how you spoke to your brother or the way you threw that down the stairs or whatever happened, right? But you're still loved and accepted here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what would really help you is if you could figure out, let's figure out what's going on inside of you and why you feel so upset.
Yeah. Labeling is so important. And it's that, I have that children's book. It's like, there's a dragon in the house. And the whole premise of the book is the parents ignore this imaginary dragon that the child keeps talking about because of course dragons don't exist. And so this dragon gets bigger and bigger and grows to the point where they can't ignore it. And the whole premise of the book is a brilliant book, but it's about if we can label things and identify things and point them out, then it takes the power away. And as soon as they go, oh, there is a dragon in the house, then the thing shrinks all the way back down.
Yeah.
And it's a huge, powerful metaphor for life of if you can give kids the ability to label things and start going, oh, that's what that is, it immediately takes the power out of it. But if there's mystery and they don't know, then it's something that is struggled, it gets struggled with. So
definitely.
And the thing is neuroscience knows this is actually what hostage negotiators do is they start labeling things and they learn how to use their words, because what it does to the terrorist or whatever is it's like, oh, you now understand me. And so their vocabulary, emotional vocabulary is off the chart. That's what they've studied, because it's now you start to label things and you identify it, and the terrorist or whatever is like, oh, you get me, you know what I'm going through because you articulated it. Yeah. And that's a huge negotiation tactic. So anyway.
So try that with your kids.
Yeah.
Extend your vocabulary.
Yeah. So I think that's important. It's almost like you see that there. This is what that is. Yeah. This is why you're feeling that way. Yeah. And it's okay, but let's start to label it and talk about it. So
I think I wanted, before we go, to say, were you going to hit on anything else? I feel like I skipped something up here though, that was kind of important. I wanted to hit on really quickly.
Sure. Go for it.
Just with setting boundaries with your children, two things. I think that it's important that you let your kids cry. I know that stereotypically that's, especially among guys, that's not typically either allowed or accepted, or I'm not saying you walk around and tell your kids, I just want to see you cry. I just mean when they feel emotion and upset, it is our body's natural response to want to let that out. And that whether they are a boy or a girl, it doesn't matter. I think raising sons that feel that they cannot express emotion is going to result in a world of pain when they are older. Yeah. I firmly believe that. Yeah. With their girlfriends, their wives, their daughters, their future kids. I mean, it will always, and mainly to themselves, it will be a huge disservice to them as they grow older. So being a safe place to process that emotion is really, really important. Secondly, I would say this. I think that parents, it's okay for your kids to see you cry sometimes. It's okay for them to see, oh, guess what? Mom or dad is having a really hard, stressful moment or day. and they don't feel quite like themselves. We constantly sweep everything under the rug and have this facade that everything is perfect. And it's okay to be real with them, you know? And of course, we could do like part B of this.
Yeah.
I think that we're just constantly, we feel like we have to be, you know, fake, or like everything is perfect, and perfection is death to the soul. It's not the case. And when they get out into the real world, they will wonder why, you know, as adults, they just, you know, are experiencing emotion and they didn't see their parents do it. So I would just encourage you to be real with your kids as far as what is age appropriate, right?
Yeah.
Not everything. They don't need to know and see and hear everything that you're going through, but to an extent.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's the point. Is this is an amazing opportunity to connect with your kids, to teach and model emotional maturity. Honestly, I think you can come out of this and everybody's like, remember when we all went through that? And it could definitely be something that brings a family together, even though I know on the daily, it's probably challenging to keep it all together. So that was it. Not things that we've done perfectly, just things that I think about in my head. And I mean, props to you for bringing up conversations to the kids
around the dinner table.
For sure. So guys, that wraps up episode 7. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. We really appreciate it. A couple things you'll see here soon. This is, we just got the iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify podcast channels approved. So you'll start seeing those in the show notes. You can subscribe, listen to the audio version. Of course, you can hang with us live and ask questions. We would love that. But those are coming up soon. So, but yeah, anything else before we take off?
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Good show.
Good job. Good show.
Good job.
See you guys.
All right, guys.
See you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.